is a way to make the people understand, to be careful with nature. You know, some yokai was, for example, you know, the king dragon, the dragon daughter is, you know, explaining the tsunami, basically. You have a yokai that is named after the sound of the beans make when you're removing the water, when you're washing it. You know, so it's like a kind of, you know, a way of being humble about, you know, who you are and what is surrounding you. You may not know everything. And what is amazing, for example, and what amazed me as well when I was reading some Lafcadio Hearn tales, is that basically some of the tales that he is talking about are very old, you know, tales, like from the Heian period. You know, that was like the Middle Age here. And at that time, they were talking about yokai that was so small that you cannot see, and that can direct your body and cause your death, which is basically, you know, disease, you know. And at that time in Europe, we were thinking about, you know, we are dying because of a skeleton giant with a... So it is crazy, because now we understand that even the trees are communicate together, you know, inside, which is basically what is the kodama, you know. It's like a sort of communication with the trees. And so we are discovering, you know, a lot of stuff that we were thinking that it was like, you know, done, you know, a tree is simply a sort of form that doesn't communicate, it doesn't feel anything, which is not the case, you know. So I think it's very, you can still learn a lot about these stories. I love Karakase, the umbrella yokai.
Oh.
He's so fun. I love him. I also love, I forget the name, so and moreover my pronunciation is so bad, so you know. The yokai with one eye, the one that you have at the beginning of the exhibition, you know, to enter. I love it as well. It's very fun to draw it. There's not one image especially that was difficult. This book, I wanted to do it so badly for so long. You have to know, I start my first book when I was a 19-year-old, was a comic book that is not in Italy, thankfully, because it's horrible. And but this comic book that was published in France was about a Japanese ghost, a little girl that was a ghost. So I was like, you know, fascinated by that science, you know, then. So I was 19, so it was some years ago. And now, you know, when I did start this book, I had huge expectation. You know, I really wanted to make it good this time, you know, because the first time it wasn't so great. So when I started, I was really, really inspired. You know, it was like, so there wasn't one difficulty, you know, like, oh, this one, I had so many ideas. I could have done 10 books, you know, about it. I did 2, and there is one that is coming, the third one, a little different, but it's really something that inspired me a lot. So it's not like difficult for me, you know, it's not like, oh, how, you know, there was other books, for example, some representation in Alice that was difficult because so many people has done it, you know, so you have to give your voice to something that, in that case, it's not the case, you know, so no, sorry. You know, if I had a proposition to work with Tim Burton, I would do. You know, it's not a dream, but for sure. You know, for moreover, I think I love what he has done. You know, because there was a time period when I less liked what he did, you know, because I used to love Edward Scissorhand and Nightmare Before Christmas, and so, you know, this period that was so great, you know, with Batman 2 and all of that. So he lost me a little, you know, with Planet of Apes and stuff like that. But now the last one, Dumbo, he did is beautiful, you know, and Frankenweenie as well. So I would love, but he has his own, you know, it's very difficult to collaborate when you have somebody that is already having such a strong universe. So he did collaborate, for example, for Nightmare Before Christmas with Henry Selick, that did the movie, because he didn't direct it. But Henry Selick was very close, and also he really adapted himself to Tim Burton. So it's almost the same thing with Disney, that is such a trademark, you know. So I would prefer to do, if I do a movie, because I had many movie projects, I want to do mine, you know. So, but talking about books, which one is my favorite one? It's changing every time, you know. There is some books that, these two books I really love, you know, I love them so much. I love the Alice in Wonderland, El Herbario del Fate,
L'erbario delle fatte,
Racconti Macabri, and the Frida book. I like it very, very, very much. Bambi is one of my favorite ones, I think also. And there is one book I am working now. I am trying to finish it in time for Christmas, and I am like really passionate by it. It's The Little Mermaid, and it's very different Little Mermaid, you will see. So there is so many books, you know. So this is like child, you know. It's horrible to say which one is your favorite one, you know. No,